Hello, everybody. I'm Dani. We're in a different location this time, so you can see the thing to iron. How is it called? The iron stand? I don't know, honestly, but mostly my Christmas tree. Today we're talking about those books I DNF'd, but also those books I finished but disliked. And this is gonna be like this is one of my favorite videos to do. One of my favorite lists to do because I can like get my angst and throw it towards you somehow. But mostly books I didn't like. I hope to edit this video well because the location doesn't give me the possibility to have a good lighting, but this is a whole other situation. I have my PC because most of the books I'm going to mention I don't own a copy anymore, and so I need the computer to see if I can find at least the English title because most of them were not in English. Actually, no one of them was in English, which may be telling. Well, anyway, let's start with the DNF'd. First book I DNF'd was The Last Train to Istanbul. I guess this is the title, if I'm not mistaken. This is a book about few characters that are from Turkey that like are kind of involved into World War II, especially this woman who goes to Paris and marries this guy who is Jewish, if I'm not mistaken. Um, she does this against her family will, and then France get invaded by Nazis. So bad things happened. I couldn't finish this book because, first of all, the characters were not so well defined, I would say. The book was kind of boring, and um, it was sad to DNF this one. But the only good thing about it was the implication of Turkey into World War II. Like, what was the position of this country? Because you never get a book about it. Like there are not popular books about a Turkish intervention or point of view about World War II, but there was nothing else that was interesting about it. Then I DNF'd Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee, which should be the sequel of To Kill a Mockingbird. I love To Kill a Mockingbird. Okay, I read it in 2018, so I was very nervous to read this one. I DNF'd it because I couldn't stand the writing style, most of it. Like the biggest problem was this, but also because like there was nothing really happening, or at least I didn't understood. I was reading in Italian as well, but I couldn't understand it. Like I was like, is there something happening? No. Good. Then I DNF'd the book that I hope it hasn't been translated to English, and it's Mancherà all'infinito. I'm gonna speak very quickly about it since I don't think it has been translated. This is a book by Mattia Ollerongis, if I'm not mistaken, and this is about Mattia, which is the main character, um, who is 20. He's attending university, but is not really into it because he broke up with Anita, his first love, and is so over fixed on this relationship that is not there anymore, that nothing else exists. And like you may not know that Italian writers since 2000 have have had this writing style where there are a lot of metaphors and short sentences and like very dramatic characters, like oh my god, not even Shakespeare, not even well, Romeo from Romeo and Juliet was quite something. He was dramatic as well. But I mean, Italian characters in these 2 decades, almost three, they've been pretty dramatic themselves. Well, couldn't keep going, couldn't keep going. Absolutely awful. Then I DNF'd a book by a famous author. Woo! Sorry. Sorry. I was making everything fall down. I DNF'd Before I Forget by Melissa Hill. I've never read anything by Melissa Hill. I got this in a swap. In a swap. How do you say? I exchanged the book in exchange for a book. Um, this is about this woman, Abby, if I'm not mistaken, that sadly got involved in an accident, and she has issues remembering stuff. And of course, her whole life take a different path. It changes completely. So we kind of should follow her in her new life after the accident. But the truth is, Abby herself wasn't a great character. I didn't really care for her. And also, the other characters weren't really exciting or interesting at all. And the fact that she has these issues with her memory, it wasn't well written. It wasn't well described. So I gave up halfway through it, about halfway through it. Then let's see. I know I didn't have the other books. I didn't have the book that is like popular, um, Irish popular legends myth, which is about. Sorry, got distracted. Which is about these myths um, from Ireland. I started that book with my boyfriend. I think it's by Henry Miller, if I'm not mistaken. I started that book with my boyfriend, but we were so disappointed. We couldn't keep going because it was so stupid as a book. It was like stories you can hear in a pub, but some of them make no sense at all. Some were funny, some left us very confused, most of them actually. So we DNF'd them. The last book that I DNF'd was actually a book I have in Italian, which is this one, Six Characters Searching for an Author by Pirandello. I don't know if the title I said is the right translation, but this is actually theater piece written by Pirandello, and it's about these six characters like searching for uh, a piece, their piece. Um, Weird. I've never really appreciated this author. I hope to do it. So there's one more book that I'd like to read by him. I've tried to read one, no one, and 1,000, 100,000. Well, anyway, um, although there was like written who was talking in this book, it was just confusing. It was very confusing for me. So I just DNF'd it. I'm sorry. I'm not a huge fan of classics, and this ended up in the right section, so the DNF'd one. I'm sorry. Today, you may notice that I'm kind of like not so enthusiastic, I would say. I'm tired. I've been sleeping so much during these holidays. Who is in my front yard? Okay, it's my neighbor. It's not my front yard, it's our front yard, but that's a whole other story. Well, I'm pretty tired. I had so many things to do. This is why you didn't get a video last week. So I'm sorry. I apologize, but I make sure for the next video, which is going to be about the best books that I've read this year, I make sure I'll be better. Anyway, let's talk about the books that I didn't like, but I finished. First of all, Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. What a disappointment. I loved The Girl of the Train by Paula Hawkins, okay? But I had to give 2 out of 5 stars to Into the Water because it was a thriller about this woman who died in this river, where so many women have died either because they killed themselves or because they've been killed. So, her sister got called by the police, and she has to take care of her niece who is a teenager. Worst period in life, I guess. I don't know. It was like, it could have been way more interesting, okay? It could have been so interesting, but it wasn't well written. Like, it wasn't structured in the same way the girl on the train was structured, and I really appreciated that book. Okay, there was a piece, like a part of the book that was a bit boring, but it was a great thriller for me. But this one had too many points of view, too many. Okay, we don't need 9 people talking. We can make it with two. Okay, two, three, if we really, really want to have three. Like, if you really want to stretch it. But I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I couldn't stand any of the characters. Any of the characters, absolutely. This is a topic that is coming back and back in this video. I have an issue with characters. Like, I could have DNF'd it, but I was so uh, disappointed that I wanted to know who killed the the first woman who died, because I was like, at this point I gotta know. I've read another thriller that was disappointing as hell. Woman with No Past. Let me see if this is the title. I'm using Goodreads, and lately it has been glitching like no other times. I've been using it for 11 years, almost. Yes. And it's glitching. It's glitching so bad. They translated. Did they translate this book in English? No. Oh, this is so crazy. Well, anyway, I read this book. Okay, it's about this woman. She's been living and working, and also how to say, managing this restaurant for 3 years. She started as a worker there, and then she got the restaurant. One day, she's in her apartment on the first floor, basically, so on the restaurant with her boyfriend. One day, there's a man that's coming at their door saying, "Hey, it's you! I finally found you. You are my wife. I'm your husband. I've been searching for you for 3 years. You disappeared out of nowhere. You disappeared, like, sorry, you disappeared, and now you're here out of nowhere. And blah 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 blah." She's actually his wife. He was right, but something has happened. She got accused of homicide because apparently she killed a woman and steal her identity. And there's something anyway that caused their, like, identity crisis, I would say, and also her amnesia. So she gets back to her home, apparently, but there are a lot of things to solve. First of all, why did she lost her memory? Who was the woman she killed? Apparently, did she really kill this woman? So, most of the um, how to say, most of the crimes get solved by, most of the mystery gets solved by her boyfriend. Actually, okay, which is weird. But like, police seems absolutely useless in this book. Also, this book takes place in not Copenhagen, but in Denmark. And it's very cruel, okay, very violent, which is not something I really enjoy, but it's something that I know I have to expect from Nordic thrillers and noirs. I didn't like the characters absolutely, and there's a lot of like both confusion between stuff happenings and explanations, but also um it was a bit boring. Okay, so the ending of the how to say that the ending of the book was absolutely unexpected for sure. Wow, that was very unexpected, but it wasn't. I didn't like it. It was so sad because I didn't read much. I didn't read many thrillers this years, and I hope I would have enjoyed some. But apparently, no, it wasn't the year of good thrillers. Then I read the worst book of the year. He get a prize. It get a prize. The worst book of this year's. Also, I gave it 2 out of 5 stars because I was compassionate. Let's say this book was The Idiot by Elif Batuman. This book is about this woman in how to say that? She's actually 18, so she's a young woman. She's starting college, so we follow her during this first year of college. I don't even remember her name because I hated her with my whole heart. I swear. She is so useless. It's so bad to say this, but like her life doesn't have a meaning. She can get a decision, not a single one. Everything she does, she either does it because someone else is doing it, so she does it in too, or because someone else told her, why don't you do this? And so she does that. There's nothing happening in this book basically because it's all like this. She can't take a decision. And I've been 18, okay, not too long ago. So I can tell you can be lost at times. But it was so bad, okay? And the first pages, the book is written in paragraphs. In the first pages, like first 60 pages, you can understand the relation, the relation between the correlation between one paragraph and the other, because there's no real bound. I don't understand. It was confusionary. It was I was so mad both at her and at any other character in this book because I'm not mentioning Ivan, or am I? Worst man I've ever found in a book. Gosh, this book was so lame. It was so lame. I hate it. And there's a sequel. I'm not gonna read it. I wasted hours on this book, okay? I've wasted hours on this book. I'm not going to, I don't want to know anything about this book anymore, okay? That was awful. Sorry, I need to vent about this. Last book that I disliked was actually Se ti abbraccio non aver paura by Fulvio Elvas. This one hasn't been translated into English, and maybe it's a bless because this book is about this dad taking his autistic son to a journey on a motorcycle through America and South, North and South America, but mostly like south of North America and South America. I know. And the thing I disliked was, first of all, the way the book was written. This was like a storied version of a real story. And I told you, Italians are all into metaphors and like circles of words. I don't know how to say it, but like they use so many words to say to nothing. Sorry. Well, maybe I should say that about me too. But also, autism is treated like a sickness. Okay, autism is not a sickness. You can't cure it. You know, you can do something to support autistic people, but it's not. There's not a cure because it's not a sickness. I dislike this book. But at least this was the last book that I was going to mention in this video. So next, not next week because I'll be, if everything goes well, on a vacation. Yes, but in 2 weeks we'll see each other to speak about the good books of this year that are actually quite a lot. I'm very very excited, and I hope I'll be like feeling a bit more, wouldn't say festive, but like more enthusiastic. I'm always enthusiastic about talking about books, but I'm a bit tired. You may see that I'm a bit tired. Anyway, thank you for being here. I hope to see you next year. Actually, I wish you the best, absolutely the best, especially when it comes to books because this is my field. So thank you for watching. You can subscribe to the channel, you can comment, you can do anything you want. See you soon. Soon. I hope soon. Bye.